All right, Zach Wilson is out. Mike White is in. And by the time you're watching this, it's probably Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. And what should we expect from Mike White? What is the Jets offense going to look like transitioning from Zach Wilson to Mike White? Well, I think there's two components of White's game that will be in addition to this offense and how it was running under Zach Wilson. And there's two components that we will miss from Zach Wilson's game. First of all, I'm down on Zach Wilson. Down but not out, but the national media writing his obituary and acting like it's the first time a young quarterback has been benched and they just couldn't stand that we were winning games, and now they're loving every second of it. So whatever. Zach Wilson, it's not the end of the world. The Jets haven't given up on him. He needs a hot second to get his mechanics right. It's like a pitcher who just can't find the strike zone. You got to skip a start and get back to the fundamentals. And I think once his head is right and once he's remembered how to properly throw a football, I think he should be back out there. He's the number 2 overall pick. Now, same thing to be said for Mike White. I think there's a lot of people who are just holding Mike White hostage for what he did last year. He had one really bad game against Buffalo, but Mike White's a young quarterback in terms of NFL experience, and I think he should be given the opportunity to grow and improve, and he's had a whole offseason in this offense, and he's got new weapons. So Zach Wilson got 21 starts to do that. Why can't Mike White get a couple of games to show that he's grown from those mistakes too? We'll see. They're both on my favorite team, so whoever's out there, I'm going to root for him. Now, transitioning to Mike White, I think you're going to see the biggest improvement you're going to see in this offense. I think we're going to take less sacks, and you might think that's counterintuitive because Zach's the better athlete, but in his games last year, Mike White took a sack on less than 3% of his dropbacks. Zach Wilson this year, 8%. And I think Mike White's biggest strength is he gets the ball out on time. I think we'll see less sacks, quicker decisions being made. The second improvement under White, you're going to see the layups hit. Zach Wilson in his career on throws behind the line of scrimmage, at the line of scrimmage, or 3 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, so the literal layups, Zach Wilson completes 79% of those in his career. Mike White, 97% of those in his career. So the slam dunk gimmies, Mike White's going to hit those all day long, and he's going to get the ball out quick. Now, where is our offense going to lack, switching from Zach to Mike? Well, with Mike, he doesn't have the arm strength to either push the ball down the field or fit it in tight windows. Per Michael Nania, on targets where the wide receiver had less than 2 yards of separation, Mike White was one of the worst quarterbacks in terms of completion percentage and EPA, all those nerdy stats he was bad at when there's a tight window. He can't put the mustard on it like Zach can. So now you have to worry, okay, our team's going to stack the box and force him to push it over the top and fit it in tight windows. We'll see. Like I said, Mike White deserves the opportunity to see that tape from last year and self-scout and improve. I think we're also going to miss Zach Wilson's mobility. Mike White's not the kind of guy that can go get you like those 14 yards and a first down that we saw against the Patriots game that Zach can. And the other thing to think about with Mike White is, man, he is a check down Charlie. In 10 quarters, Mike White threw 51 targets to running back. So number one, that's awesome. You have a high completion percentage. You're staying ahead of the chains, but is that sustainable? So I'm interested to see how it goes. I think Mike White should have a fairly productive game. I think we're going to see over 200 yards and a couple of touchdowns against a reeling Chicago Bears defense. It's not that I'm rooting for Mike White to fail by any means. I guess I would just be disappointed if we never see Zach Wilson again this year. But hey, if Mike White is playing well and you're winning football games, you got to stick with him. We'll talk football soon.